So good morning, everybody, and welcome to Elevate. If I freeze up and you can't hear or see me, give me a holler, and I apologize for my technical difficulties. But welcome to phase one, call one of our Elevate program. And we want to get to know all of you guys, and we would ask that in the messenger, the Elevate messenger chat that everybody's been invited to, take a look at the first, introduce yourselves. And when we're done here, hop over into there and answer those questions so we can start to get to know each other. You can get and kind of see who's joining us for this round of Elevate. We have 5 directors that do this program together. We have 4 on with us today. We kind of take turns and swap out. So not everybody is always going to be on the call, but we do have 4 of us on today, and I'm going to have everybody introduce yourselves when it gets to your section. We'll do that. So my name is Jill Johnson. I'm an advanced director in Middle Tennessee near Nashville, and been with Pampered Chef for 27 years in September. And super excited to do this program with you for a while now. And it's been really helpful and successful for everybody that's been involved. And so we look forward to sharing it with you guys too. Now I'm going to share my screen, jump into things here. And share screen. There we go. Share. And if it lets me, I'm having really well. There we go. Okay. So this is what Elevate is really helping you to do and get out of your business. One of those things we're shooting for is 4 parties per week. This says for the next 30 days. We're actually going to have a tweak for that. Holidays coming up, Pampered Chef as a whole, and with a program like this, so that you are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. We really want to help you to be earning more income from your business, because people come into Pampered Chef with a lot of different goals, but I don't know anyone that turns. And for some people, that's your main thing. Like, show me the money. So we want to show you the money and how to get that into your life. So the success end of it is going to be a full calendar and a great paycheck. That's what we're looking for in results, right? This middle one says trust the process, and we really ask that you enter into this maybe in a little bit of a different frame of mind than if you have been previously looking at some of the things we talk about, going, oh, I don't know about that. I've tried that before and it didn't work, or what have you. But this really is a whole collection of trainings and conversations and elements that make a huge difference and will, I promise you, have an impact on your business when you basically do everything we tell you to do. We're not trying to be bossy. We're just trying to give you the tools to really do something awesome with your business. So we just ask you to kind of come alongside us and work with us and the other people in the program, and try something new. Do something if you've done it before. Do it again if we're suggesting it. Maybe tweaking it a little bit to give, make some changes, and work closely with your director. Okay, because that's going to be a big part of what happens here, is what we do as a group, but also your one-on-one. And every director that's involved in this, really, we want nothing more than to help you get great results from your business. And this is definitely a piece of that puzzle. So we're going to talk about becoming a director with Pampered Chef. You might be familiar with that whole idea, maybe not clearly the benefits of having a, like, I would want to do that. Well, just like me, you get bigger benefits, right? So this is a sort of a collection of some of those things from Pampered.
Good morning.
All right, try that again. Come back over here.
Right, so we're not really hearing much of what you're saying. You're breaking up so much.
I just want to make sure you keep on your toes, you know, you don't like get lulled into, falling. Okay. Do you want to, Kelly, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Kelly, can you hear me?
Yes.
Why don't you do the talking and I'll do the slides?
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, guys.
Can you see the slide?
Yep. Yep. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about director benefits and what there is all entails for you when you promote to director. So one of the big benefits is you get $250 of Pampered Chef dollars. So that just gets deposited into your account when you become a director. It's such an awesome thing to have there. You don't have to worry, about paying for supply orders and stuff like that when you've got like a nice little cushion in that PC dollar bank. I love it. We get a 3% pay increase on personal sales when you promote to director. Who doesn't want more money, right? A 3% override on your personal team sales. That can really make a huge difference. And this is usually the moment in your career where you start to see that shift where your overrides start to become even higher sometimes than your personal commission. It's great. $10 activity bonus for every active personal team member on your team. And then, of course, the coveted director boxes where you get a selection of the new season's products as long as you are submitting, the requirement of sales, which to keep your director team going, usually that's pretty much, that's the case. So why don't you guys just pop a comment in the box down there in the chat box and tell us what you think sounds really good about becoming a director. Let me see here. I think Janine goes next.
No, there's one more slide.
Oh, yeah, about the requirements of.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Thank you.
That's okay.
Okay. So, oh, yes. I'm sorry. Director requirements. For you to promote to director, we have to have a magic. I always kind of like to call it the magic little number or the magic formula that has to happen in 1 month. You yourself has to have at least a minimum of $750 in personal sales. Your team has to have $5,000 in team sales, all combined. So you can have $750 and then your team could do the rest, or you could do all of the $5,000. It's kind of a mishmash, and you guys, that's why it's called team sales. You have to have 5 active team members. And the one thing that I always like to share, because people get kind of like, that scares me. I'm saying active. So as long as you have 5 people that have at least 150, that's an active status. You don't have to have, like, if they're brand new consultants, they don't have to be qualified. They just have to be active. So if you were to go on a crazy recruiting rampage in the next weekend before this $25 kit's gone, as long as you had at least $150 in sales, you had at least $750 and your team as a whole had $5,000. So don't get hung up on new team members. They don't have to be absolutely qualified. All of this has to happen 1 time in a month, and you will promote to director on the first of the following month. So if you did it this month, you'd promote to director on December 1st.
One other thing to add, if you guys, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the 5 team members don't all have to be personal recruits.
Oh, yes,
either.
That's true too. We should actually probably add that in there.
But it should be on the slide probably, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you recruit 3 people and a couple of them recruit somebody, as long as it's a total of 5 plus yourself, then that meets that requirement.
Yep. We have a girl in Sarah Cooter's team this month that's going to try to go for it. She still has 3 team members to add. She has 2 right now, but her 2 recruits, they're actively working with other people. So those 3 recruits might not even come from Michelle. They may end up coming from Mary and Sharon that are on her team. So as long as you've got that 5 active personal team members, that can make it happen. Right. Okay, I think Janine's next then, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right.
Hey guys, I am Janine Burton. I live in the frozen tundra of the UP of Michigan. And I'm an advanced director, and I've been with the company for about 20 years. So we're going to talk about bookings, because all of that awesome stuff that Kelly and Jill just shared with us, as far as those amazing benefits of being a director, and how you get there, starts with bookings for all of us. Whether you are, no matter what level you're at in the company, bookings are the lifeblood of our business. And so we really have to make sure that we are constantly funneling new people in, and, you know, having new bookings on our calendar, a new business, and it's going to provide us with new customers. And it's really important, again, no matter what level you're at, but particularly if you're looking at moving into leadership. So there's a general rule that was shared early on in this business by our founder, Doris Christopher, and also a lot of the top leaders, you know, have shared this. And that principle is 8 and 2, no matter what. And what they're talking about is 8 cooking shows, because of course at the time, you know, we were doing only cooking shows, and 2 new recruits every single month. This is a golden rule to live by. And if you do that, you will always have a strong business. You will earn all of the benefits that are available to you from Pampered Chef, and you will become a strong leader. And so we really, really want to, you know, we want to get everybody, you know, on board with the idea that bookings are the lifeblood of our business. And so the next 2 weeks are focused completely on bookings. Now, when it comes to the virtual world, because most of us are doing mostly virtual at this point, even if some, you know, some people are moving back into cooking shows, you really have to double those numbers. Virtual parties are typically lower in sales, have a higher drop or flop rate. And that's why we really recommend that you go for 16 bookings in a month time period. 3 to 4 of those are going to drop or flop. So you really will be at sort of a level of about 12 parties being submitted per month, which is a great place to be when you're looking, especially again, looking at moving into leadership. So, you know, we want to remember too, that directors and leaders don't just work towards minimums. You know, we don't want to just be scraping by every month. We don't want to be just, you know, shooting for the lowest, you know, number that'll get us there. Hopefully, you know, fingers crossed. We really want to overshoot, because we do have, you know, there is some uncertainty as far as how each party is going to pan out. So over the next 2 calls, we'll be talking about bookings, building a strong show calendar. And again, kind of going back to what Jill said, we're just asking that you trust us, trust the activities that are assigned. They are all designed to help you get to that point where you have a strong calendar, and, you know, trust the process and trust in yourself that you will do this. You will be successful. You can do it. It's going to be fast, and it's going to be, you know, exciting and maybe stressful at times. But that's why we're here, to support you guys and help you guys, and help you work through any challenges that you have, because it will be so rewarding when you reach, you know, reach that goal that you've set for yourself. Now, I do want to touch on real quick, because we are entering into the holiday season, we are looking at sort of adjusting the bookings, you know, requirement to move on to phase 2. And so what we would do is have you be booking, you know, 14 to 16 parties for the month of December, recognizing that December is, you know, a little bit of a different month. What we're looking at is 14 to 16 bookings for December and the first 2 weeks of January, with at least 6 of those being in the month of December. Does that make sense to everybody, hopefully? And I'm right on that, as with Jill and Kelly and everything, right? Okay, so that's kind of where we're at. We want you to be looking at, you know, you can do more in December if you want, obviously, but minimum of 6 in December, and then 14 to 16, you know, by the middle of January. So you're really working at front loading your January. The company has given us a little boost again, you know, a little incentive for our hosts, that they get a free gift when they do have their party within the first 2 weeks of January. So, you know, that helps us out as well. So, so we really want to also have you go over, you know, looking at the bookings, that you're going to have, take a moment and identify the dates that you can work, and this is particularly important as you go through the holidays, but it's important all the time, that you know when you have party dates available so that you can put those out to people when you're booking. Identify how many you already have, of course, on your calendar, and highlight the dates that you're able to work so that you have every date filled between now and the middle of January. So what days, also, you want to look at what days you can be working on getting the bookings. What days can you seriously close the door to wherever it is that you work and set aside some focused time that you can work on Pampered Chef. Write those times down on your schedule, time block it. Whatever it is, it might look different for everybody. It's going to look different for everybody. My life is different from yours. And, you want to just make sure that you are being very intentional about when you're working, making time to work, when you're working, and focus during these next 2 weeks. And really, that's something that we all need to be doing all the time. The booking process is really key to, getting everything going for you. So what you are doing now, just keep in mind that what you're doing now is going to affect what your business looks like in 30, 60, and 90 days. And so don't give up. It's, being consistent and persistent all the time is, and as far as making time to send your booking messages, sending the follow-up messages, and having the time to do the parties is, really where the success comes from, and where you're going to find yourself in a very, different place, maybe from where you are right now, and feeling really good about it. So, and that's what we're going to help you focus on over the next 2 weeks. And one of the big parts of that is tracking your contacts, which is what Donna is going to talk to us about next.
Okay. Yes, I'm going to be talking about tracking your contacts. Now we're going to give you the tracking system, but it's definitely critical to the booking process. But I will say, be determined, y'all, and just block out time to make it happen, and just be determined you're going to do it, and make sure you do it even the days you don't want to do it. You've got to make yourself. I have to make myself lots of times, but it will pay off. But there are multiple reasons for we track our contacts. Number one, so we can see our progress. Sometimes it may feel like we haven't messaged a lot of people, but if we are tracking, we may realize it wasn't as many as we thought it was. Number two, we can write down replies, notes, check-ins as we move forward, which will make it easier for us to see who we can circle back around to later. And then number three, it also helps when you hit the struggle bus and you've reached out to your director for help and they ask to see your tracker. If you're keeping up with it, it will help them learn how to help you better. And here's how you will begin sending your first messages. Go to your Facebook friends list and start with the A's and message 30 people a day until you get through your entire friends list, tracking every name and follow up, and send this message. Now, you may have to tweak it. This is one for new consultants, but you can tweak it just a little bit, and we will actually share some different words in our documents that we're going to share with you that you can use for if you've been, with Pampered Chef longer. But hey, Jamie, how are you? Did you see my exciting announcement on Facebook? I made a big decision to start my own Pampered Chef business, and I was curious if you'd be up for letting me spoil you with our amazing rewards as one of my very first hosts. The party lasts about 5 days and is super fun and convenient for everyone to pop in and out through their busy schedules. What do you think? Want to grab some friends this month and get spoiled with Pampered Chef? So we'll share this message along with some other messages in the group. For those that have potentially exhausted their entire friends list, here are some other options that you could use to send messages. And we'll have a ABCs for generating leads document that you can refer to, but also look at your email contacts, your friend referrals, go through my contacts in Pampered Chef and contact all past customers. Of course, when you're out and about, Pamper a Business, LinkedIn, holiday cards, wedding guest list, phone contacts, and family reunions list. Most important is following up with contacts. Here are some words to say. Hey, just checking in to see if you got my message and what your thoughts were. We will also give you additional follow-up verbiage in How Do I Book Parties document that will also be in our group. Now, I believe it's back to Kelly again. Okay.
Yep. All right. So we're done giving you the info, and I know it was a lot to take in, but remember, like Donna just said, we're going to post things in the group. All of your call to action information will be in that group. So you'll want to make sure that you're, looking at that group often, and also make sure that you're cheering each other on in the group message. We want to hear your successes, and it's going to encourage other people. And that way we can root each other on through this process. Okay. So call to action for week 1. We're going to have you make and track all booking contacts in a booking notebook, or some of you might decide to use a digital tracker. So there'll be some information regarding that in the call to action, but a plain old notebook can be that simple for you to use as well. You're going to make at least 30 contacts a day at minimum. So, the different ideas that Donna gave you, basically just even starting with your friends list on Facebook. You're going to want to listen to booking trainings on how to fill your calendar and list the top 3 takeaways. You're going to list the takeaways in the group, not in the group message. Put them in the group, okay? Because our director team will go back and look and make sure that you've done your takeaways in there. You're also going to be sending rockstar messages to every guest in your current party, and we'll be giving you ideas in that How to Book Parties document. We'll have things about how to respond to rock stars. There's a booking training in the document with booking verbiage. That's that document we're talking about. How do I book parties? And then we're still having them do that conference call, right team? Director team?
Like with the director?
Yeah, there's that. No, there's a additional training. Are we doing this free conference call? If we're doing it, it'll be in the call to action.
Basically everything that's in the call to action.
It'll be in the call to action. Okay. Yeah. So then one other thing, and I'm not sure if we're actually going to update this graphic or not, because we're having you guys do it a little different. I think we'll probably just leave it the same, because we want you just to shoot for as many bookings as you can get, between now and that second week of January anyway. But there's going to be like a little booking scorecard that we will have you keep track of your bookings on there. And it's a nice little graphic that you can just, screenshot it where you're at, make your X's on it, and then we'll have you post it once in a while throughout this. Go ahead.
Maybe it could be like, if you can write a letter, which is a little.
Donna, you're on mute.
I was saying maybe what she's trying to say is D for December, J for January instead of an X.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So why don't you do that instead of an X? That's perfect. We're just kind of adjusting this month. So yes. And I just want you guys to know that it all sounds like super, super overwhelming and scary right now, but really we just want you to think to yourself, I'm just going to do it scared. Just do it scared, trust the process. We have promoted one director already through this program. Donna's in the process. Hopefully she's going to have another director promoting here very soon. So this works. It really, truly works. You just have to trust the process and go for it. And yes, some days you're going to be like, well, I don't want to do these bookings or, these contacts today. But, one of the biggest tips I learned from Kristen Wieringa is anything that's on your to-do list for the day that doesn't you don't want to do it first and get it out of the way for the day. So like, just make a plan that, you know, whatever, when you get your, you know, day going, first thing you do is make 30 contacts. Okay. Oh, no, am I wonking out?
No, you're good. You're
Okay.
fine. We can, yeah, no, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all we have for you guys. I'm sure that was enough probably for you. So,
Hey, I was going to say something really quick. Yes, everything that is in the call to action is going to be posted. That free conference call is Marna Ross.
oh yes, that's right.
It should
Okay.
be posted at the top, and it'll be the first thing that everybody really needs to listen to. We really want you to listen to any of the trainings first before you go in to do the action. It helps get your mindset and makes you feel much, much more positive as you're going into it.
Yes. And
Jill made a good point. I don't know if you guys saw in the chat, like if you feel like, you know, if you're in your day, you can't sit down and do all 30 at once, do 10 at a time. You know, break it up a little bit if you need to, you know, do 10 in the morning, 10 at lunchtime, and 10 in the evening or something like that. You know, whatever you need to do. And it can go pretty fast. So, you know, whatever you need to do basically to work those into your day.
And always remember that if you get stuck on somebody's response to you and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, screenshot it, send it to your director, and we'll walk you through what to say. Okay. That's the biggest thing to get used to in this group. And just even in your director, in your whole organization anyway, that is like the most useful thing that you can do is screenshot and work with your director on how to answer things. Super beneficial.
Yeah, one more thing, and don't get hung up on thinking you know who wants to have parties and you know who doesn't. I think a lot of people go into it and assume that, oh, they're not going to want to host, and so you don't ask. So that's why we want you to go through like everybody and ask, even the guys, even the people you are certain they're going to say no, go ahead and get that no out of the way. At least you asked and gave them the opportunity to decide instead of you making a decision for them.
Awesome. All right. Does anybody have any questions, or we'll let you get on with your Saturday? Oh, wait, somebody had something in the chat. Hold on. I just want to check it quick. Oh, that was Jill. Sorry. I didn't realize, Janine, you already responded to that.
No, that's okay. That's all right.
Anybody else? Otherwise, we'll get the recording posted and we'll get you guys on your way for the day. I've got to go and do a show. I'm going to just toot my own horn for a second here. I hit $1 million in sales last night. So
oh my gosh, that's right. Yes, we need to cheer for you. Yay.
I'm pretty excited. I was so excited that it actually happened on a night that I had a show. So I was like $12.81 away from it when I went to the show. So my first order, like I printed a thing and I'm like, I'm taking a picture with that customer because you just don't ever know when you're going to hit it. You know, like a milestone like that. So I was like, it was so fun to be able to celebrate it with my cooking show people last night. It was awesome. So yeah.
Yeah.
Happy.
Congratulations. That is quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very much.
So real quick, Jill put in the chat, when we are realizing that Kelly, Donna, and Cheryl didn't really introduce themselves. So, you know, maybe introduce yourselves to the team, ladies.
I'm Kelly Moore. I'm an advanced director in Wisconsin. I've been with Pampered Chef for 21 years. And like I said, I just hit my $1 million in sales. I'm just kidding. So I am like, if you want to, like, I'm sisters. We're all in the same upper org under Pam Stakowski. So I know these ladies, but so I'm not in Jill's organization. I'm in a whole separate group, but still under Pam, if you will.
Okay, and I'm under Pam too. I'm Donna Nelson from Alabama, and I'm $1 million baby too. The little white ribbon back here is my $1 million baby ribbon. So anyway, advanced director.
Cheryl, you're
up. I was trying to get, hold on, driving.
She's right. Safety first. Safety first.
My gosh.
So I'm Cheryl Wyatt. I'm an advanced director out of Dover, Tennessee. And I've been with Pampered Chef 23 and a half years. I'm not $1 million baby, but I'm a rock star recruiter.
You are a rock star recruiter.
Yes,
You're
you
not
are.
a $1 million baby yet.
That's right.
Nope. But my focus is always recruiting. So when y'all start to hear me talk about recruiting, listen.
Yep.
All right. So we do have a question from Sherry. How many people in leadership do more in-home parties than virtual, which is more prevalent? You know, I don't know. I think that's a tough question to answer. I think everybody's kind of in a different place on it. And of course, for the last, 2.5 years, or, pushing 3, like nobody was doing in person because of the COVID business. But, I don't know. Anybody else have any idea or have heard any stats on that?
No, Sherry, I would say prior to COVID at that time, I think we were at about 70% cooking show consultants, 30% virtual, and it's definitely flipped, if not a higher stat than that. It might be like more like 15 cooking show, 20 cooking show, the rest virtual. However, I love cooking shows, so I plan to continue to do them, and I've been doing them. But I will say, since I started doing them back a year ago in July, this is the first weekend that I've had 3 cooking shows in one weekend. Otherwise, it's been very sporadic. My customer base here in the Wisconsin area is still they were still a little gun shy, and there's really no right or wrong reason, way to do it. I was at a director retreat a couple of weeks ago, and this will give you guys a little bit of an eye opener. I thought it was pretty interesting. I was with Marna Ross and Yvonne Matson, our national execs, for my director retreat that I was at. And here, let me find this stat. It'll take me just a sec to scroll through my pictures. Okay. All right. So as of would have been at Chairman's Circle, or is that what it was called in September? Chairman's Circle? Yeah. Yep. At Chairman's Circle, in-person cooking show averages right now are 564. Facebook cooking shows or virtual parties right now are at 500 as an average. That's not what I'm experiencing, but that's nationwide. Table parties, which I'm not doing tons of yet. I'm dabbling in it, but I'm not like completely full blown into it yet. Their show average is at $660 nationwide. Wow. So, and shared rewards parties, of course, would make sense. They're at $782 nationwide. So I think it's pretty telling. I'll post this picture. I'll post it in the Facebook Messenger group just so you guys can look at it. Because she's got it party average, orders per party, average orders, bookings, recruits, she's got it broke down into each of that. I just thought it was pretty telling. And so that's basically the focus of our retreat, is they were really, really, really encouraging us to switch to table. So I know I will tell you last night that at my in-home party, I've been running virtual parties alongside of my cooking shows because not everybody wants to come yet. And she had invited oodles of people, and I did a Facebook invite to the event through the Facebook group. So it was embedded in the group itself, which I hadn't been doing that. So I feel like that worked better, but she still said almost everybody. I mean, we ended up having 6 people there last night, which of course I would have liked more, but I was happy with whatever right now. However, she said that half the people that she texted didn't even see the invite. So Facebook's not even allowing people to see invites. So honestly, I will tell you, if you're going to do cooking shows, you need to make sure that you're making some kind of a graphic for people to text out to people, or even going back old school and using Evite or something, because Facebook is just not letting people see those. So another reason maybe to table, So I might start, if I'm having a cooking show, I might start doing the virtual portion on table. I might, just for that reason too. So I don't know.
That's a good point. I stress to my hosts, Facebook events are the least reliable way to invite people. People just don't see event invitations. I mean, they never have. It's never been, in my experience anyway. Jill did want to mention, she put in the chat that these stats Kelly was sharing are pretty consistently, you know, apply to consultants and leaders. So it's not just, you know, it's across the board, you know, not.
Yeah. And Tina, to answer your question, there's a course in Dash on how to start Table. And there's also usually a webinar at least once a month that's called Table 101. And Table is constantly the team of
Developers.
Thank you. I'm like, what's the word? Developers at home office are constantly listening to us as consultants in the field and constantly making improvements to Table. So there's a group on Facebook that you can join too, Pampered Chef Consultants Table. I can't remember what it's exactly called, but yeah. So is that where you guys would start too, is doing that?
Well, so the Dash training is kind of just an overview of what Table is and sort of an introduction to Table. One thing I always point out to my consultants or anybody really looking to get into Table is when you are in Table itself. So you go from Consultants Corner into Table, you'll see you know, up in the right corner, Table Tips. And I think, and I've actually put this request out to home office to change that name, because it's not just tips. That is the entire training on Table, other than the webinar that home office does. But that is not just tips in there. Like,
right, yeah.
That's where you want to go to get the full training. And there's like, when you get into the Table Tips, there's like little bubbles that cover every single topic, and you have to click on those to get the full information on Table, like on each of those topics. Mm-hmm. So definitely utilize, if you're looking to get into Table, definitely go to the Table Tips.
And keep in mind too, with Table, you have to take away everything that you know about virtual parties in the Facebook world. Yeah. It's not anything like it. You're going to post in there and there's going to be party content in there, but there's not going to be the interaction that you have in a Facebook party. And that's okay. You're going to be building relationships with people through messaging them, like texting them, or even that's, you know, a big thing that like people are using Project Broadcast now, because then they can keep those, you know, that's where, you know, you're building your relationships, is the messaging with the customers and your host. So it's not going to happen within the party. It's just not, that's not the kind of platform it is. And I guess we have to be okay with it. And just like take it out of our head and be like, this is what it is. So,
okay. Well, I want to say the main thing is, y'all get your bookings. Then you can worry about what platform. And you got to have a calendar first before you can worry about what you're doing. And so, yeah, just focus on bookings, and then, you know, we can do a special, you know, if you want to know more about Table. I know we've actually done a Table simple. I've got a Table party now what to just get you started. So just get your bookings.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I wasn't trying to go to the other place, but you know, that is a place too, that you have that as another option, you know, that's available for us, that Pampered Chef has created. So
can I say one thing before you hang up, because this isn't in the training, and I always say it when we're on these calls, but I just wanted to get in the spot. One thing when you're thinking of your contacts, okay, because it can be, you know, we've had some team members kind of get a little overwhelmed about contacts and trying to figure things out. On your piece of paper, like it up into like sections, you know, if you want to use different piece of paper, whatever, sections your notebook. But like one section, make it family. One section, make it friends. You know, one section, you know, if you're have been a consultant for a little while, you know, maybe past hosts and guests. If you're new, maybe you might want to make that section, are any of the banks open? You want to make a section like, you know, people that were just at a party. I'm thinking the banks are not open, but you know, like instead of like trying to think of, oh my gosh, I don't know 30 people, like really break it down into like bite-sized pieces, and that will really, really help. You know, like, and don't forget your friends and family, like literally just kind of like, and write down, like even ask them for a referral. If they say no, just say, you know, hey, I'll, you know, give you a referral gift or something like that. And, but just kind of categorize your list of 30, and that'll help tremendously, really trying to break it down.
Yep. I've even done it too, where I've actually had my consultants go back to the launch list that you use like when you first start and break it down into, those categories like Cheryl's saying, but dividing up your piece of paper like that too, I think is awesome. Like just because you can use it like a brainstorming, piece of paper that way. Anybody else have any questions? Otherwise, we'll let you go today. Yes, Sherry, go ahead.
Snowing in Tennessee.
What'd you say?
I said it's snowing in Tennessee.
It was snowing in Wisconsin earlier also. Go ahead, Sherry.
I was just wondering what type of referral gift would be good to give to people that are willing to give you a referral. What do you guys do?
I usually do a Season's Best cookbook.
Season's Best.
It's easy to,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I didn't know if you like physically physically mailed people things, but usually it's something you can just email them or send in Facebook, that kind of thing.
Season's Best cookbook you would have to mail. You could do an e-cookbook too. I mean, you could really do whatever you want, but it doesn't have to be anything like super extravagant. Not like
okay,
like $15 or something, Okay.
I just wondered.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. All right, are we good?
I think we're good. Jill she looked like she was typing, add something to their order on their friend's party. Oh yeah, so if they, if they give you a referral and that friend does end up having a party, then you can just add it as, to their order, add something to their order.
Yep.
But it can still be like a Season's Best or a, kitchen paring knife or something.
Yeah. If you're cold calling and they're not attached to somebody's party, I just mail something like that. So
no, I think she means like, so let's say even if you're cold calling, and they do give you a referral and that ends up in a party, then you can add the referral gift to their order on that.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
No, you're good. You're good. All right, y'all.
Okay. You guys have a great Saturday and let us know if you have any questions. Okay. And use the messenger group.
Yep. Go get them, guys. You got this.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.